Trey Murphy. So Bill Simmons this week said he expects Trey Murphy to get traded within the next couple of weeks. Now, right after he said that, the Boston Celtics were entertaining trading Jaylen Brown possibly for Trey Murphy,
I saw
which
that.
it kind of just makes you think like, man, if Boston's willing to get off Jaylen Brown, what would it take to get Trey Murphy in a Detroit Pistons uniform? I mean, should Pistons fans want Trey Murphy, you think? Or do you think the asking price is just way too high if Boston's willing to get off a guy that was just second team All NBA, almost averaged 30 points on the second seeded Boston Celtics this year?
I think he's worth whatever gamble that they need. I think Trey Murphy is a phenomenal basketball player. And I think he's getting better. Again, when we're talking about these kind of discussions and these kind of moves, you don't want to just crash for somebody in this moment with a young core that you have. You want somebody that can help you right now and potentially 5 years down the line as well. And I think Trey Murphy fits everything that this basketball team needs. He can create his own shot, can get to the hoop. I think he's an underrated defender. Not a great defender, but I think in a JB Biggerstaff system and other quality defenders around him, I think you would see that production grow exponentially in his game. A very unselfish player. Something that I also love about him is, well, as we watched Tobias over these past couple years, he was really good with the Pistons. He struggled scoring in transition a lot. Like, he was getting stifled a lot in transition. Trey Murphy is a guy where you can throw the ball up to the rafters and he's going to go get it and go get you a transition slam. I love the way he plays. I think he's phenomenal. I think the Pistons, not only do I think he fits well with what the Pistons need, the biggest concern for me, because I've seen other teams interested in him, like you just said, the Celtics, the Pacers could be an option for him as well. The last thing you want to have to deal with is him going to a team that you got to go through to get to the title, especially when they're just a piece or two away. So you're kind of playing chicken with other teams around as well. It's not like if he gets traded, I don't think he's going to stay in the Western Conference. I think a lot of teams in the East are interested in his services, and it makes complete sense. So for me, like, there was a Desmond Bain like package that was going around for him in terms of like the discussions. I personally think he's worth it. Like, I don't think the Pistons are in a position where they need to be over banking on draft picks right now when you have a core like with a Cade, JD, and Asar, and potentially a guy like, Trey Murphy to add through. I think you need to be I think they need to be able to keep their mind open for a player like him. And also, let's also think it's important to understand this. I don't think they're just a Trey Murphy away from getting to where they want to be. I also think they need another shooter. I think they need some more internal growth from the guys on their roster. I don't think he is just the end-all fix for this team. I still do think they need a couple more pieces to go with it, but he's a great start to, again, solve for, priority number one for this offseason, which is help Cade Cunningham not play heliocentric basketball anymore.
100%, man. I actually made a top five list of the teams I could actually see him getting traded to this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And you already named off two. We talked about Boston. You talked about Indiana, but I could see Golden State just kind of getting in there.
Yeah.
I feel like, who knows how long Steph Curry is going to be around for. Jimmy Butler, I don't know when he's going to be back. I doubt Kristaps Porzingis comes back. He'll probably get the bag somewhere in free agency. But I could see Golden State definitely being players. And I could also see OKC just saying, screw it. Like, we got picks. We got players. Maybe we're not that sold on Chet Holmgren. We do know that you need a center.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, OKC could just ruin everybody's party and just get freaking pretty much anyone this offseason, man. Like, they
I'll
really
be so sick. I'll be sick to death if they're the team that ends up landing the biggest trade target of this offseason. The last team that needs it will be the Oklahoma City Thunder, but it will be such a Presty move for them to make that happen. It's not going to be easy for the Pistons, so I think it is important to keep that in mind. I don't think Joe Dumars or Troy Weaver are trying to do the Pistons any favors, but knowing, the connection that Trajan Langdon has had with Trey Murphy, I could see the interest being there and it making sense. He's a fantastic player, man. He's super fun to watch, plays above the rim. It's exactly what the kind of player they need. It's unfortunate to see how raw the Pistons have been in terms of what their front court scoring has looked like. He would change so much of that on the floor for this basketball team. You can allow him to play big. You can kind of play small with him as well, move him around, possibly from 2 through 4. I think it just makes too much sense, man. Again, I do not want to see him go to a team like the Pacers, where you're going to have to see him then 4 times a year, like Donovan Mitchell did when he went to the Cavaliers. Like, the East is not playing around. Teams are smelling blood and opportunity, and they want to take their shot. And I think now is a perfect time for the Pistons to go make something happen.
Yeah, you do not want to see him in the Central Division because I feel like Indiana could actually offer a pretty decent package as well because they do have some role players that I think could help um, New Orleans, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. But like I just think they need a center. I think if you're Detroit, and I want to give Sam Vecini and Bryce Simon credit because they had mentioned, what if you do a sign and trade with Jalen Durham for Trey Murphy straight up? Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
you throw a you have Missy in there just to try to get the Pistons another center. Like I don't think that's a terrible idea. Like if you're trying to just like get a Trey Murphy, maybe you're not in love with paying Durham $40 million. Maybe the center position isn't as important to you as maybe getting Cade, maybe a second or a third option.
Would you you mentioned JD as an option, or I understand that. Who? So if you were to get Trey, who would you be not willing to give up outside of Cade Cunningham to get him to bring him to this team?
I can't do a SAR. Anything else, it's like I would like you know what like you can have anybody on this roster like Cade and Asar are off limits. Like have your pick.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. I personally don't agree. I
Okay.
like Asar a lot. I need to see a lot from Asar Thompson in terms of growth. Like I need to see way more development from him. I think his defense is leaps and bounds. That speaks for itself. But the offense I think needs to really come along a lot stronger for what this team needs. Like Cade cannot be handcuffed with two guys who can't shoot or create their own offense consistently for the next 5 years if they're trying to get to a championship. I think they need a lot more help around him. We even saw Duncan Robinson kind of get handcuffed a lot in the Cleveland series when he wasn't on. There was a problem. Granted, when they brought Danis on the floor for him in his position, we saw things change and elevate for him. But I don't know. I have a different view in terms of the untouchables of this team, but I understand why people would want to keep Asar. I'm not saying you should be trying to trade him, but I don't know. I'm a little higher on Trey Murphy's ceiling than I am on Asar's personally, but we'll see. I've been wrong before.